So, welcome everyone. I've met all of you, so I don't need to introduce myself. Peter, do you want to quickly say hello to those that you've not met?
Absolutely. My name is Peter van der Graag. I am one of two directors of the foundation that supports the ERC communities movement. And today I'm here in my capacity as support for Faye, administrative support for Faye during the meeting. So, but I'm also happy to answer any questions if Faye deems that necessary.
Yes, or if anybody has questions, then feel free to jump in.
Yeah.
Okay. So today's meeting is all about getting to know each other. Everybody here will introduce themselves. You are half of the new cohort that have just joined the movement. I've split it into two groups so that the meeting doesn't get too crazy long. So there's so much already to share between each of you. We will also share with you how the foundation can support you and clarify expectations. And importantly, I want to have a chance to brainstorm how we can support each other so that you have really concrete steps going forward. So by the end of the meeting, we want you to know what resources and opportunities are available to you so that as an ERC, you can make the most out of being part of the movement. So you are part of the mighty movement. You are now one of more than 80 communities that is part of this movement. We're on 34 different countries across 6 different continents. And it's really about having lasting change by having systemic change from the bottom up. We, and I think you all know this, we're all feeling the impact of nature breaking down. And as communities, you are taking up spades and making the change that we need. And together as a movement, we're much stronger like that. So we'll go into more about how the foundation can support, but you guys are the most important people in this movement. So I want to start with having a round session of everybody introducing themselves. And I think everybody's received the cheat sheet. That's really just a guideline. What we really want to know from you is who you are, what are you restoring and how, and tell us who are the people that you're involving in your work. For time, it's great if we can really stick to 5 minutes. So I will be strict. I hate being strict, but I will be strict, and I'll jump in and say, hey, we're coming to 5 minutes. Please, can you round up so that there's enough time for everybody to present? And please know that really this is just a starting point. The whole point of being in the movement is that you can connect with others and deeper conversations can happen when you reach out to each other. But this is just so that people can know who you are. Okay, let me see who is in the room because I can't see everybody in the room when I'm presenting. And just so you know, I've also got a transcript going. Is everybody able to see that? I thought it's easier for people who are meeting in their second language. I see some heads nodding. Just at the bottom of the screen, you can see the transcript. And know that sometimes it's not always accurate, so you'll have to take it with a pinch of salt. But that's there as a support. Okay, who would like to start? Is there someone that would want to kick us off with their 5-minute introduction? Great, thanks, Ayman.
Welcome, everybody. I would like to introduce myself to you. My name is Ayman Al-Husni. I am the Executive Director of the Jordanian Society for Desertification Control and Badia Development. It is, in short, name is JSDCBD. We have been established since 1990. In the capital Amman, Jordan. It has been registered under the applicable associations law, whereas it practices its activities under the jurisdiction of the Ministry of Environment as a non-profit and a non-governmental society. It is specialized in studies, research related to desertification phenomenon and the suggested solutions. Also prepare cultural and informative awareness programs. Our headquarters, as I mentioned, is located in the capital Amman. However, we have a site of our projects and activities. It is in the north of Amman, located in near a village called Rumana. It is a sloping plateau to the north of the capital Amman over an area of 15 hectares. Our strategic objectives are to identify desertification problems its causes and impacts, to protect natural plants, cover and biodiversity, to raise public awareness for maintaining and protecting the natural environment, to encourage water harvesting projects, raise awareness of dangers of malpractices leading to desertification, and finally to encourage the best methods to optimize the use of water resources and protect natural resources. Our vision is educating society about the seriousness of the phenomenon of desertification and funding scientific methods to reduce desertification. However, our mission is working to find scientific and environmental solutions to reduce the phenomenon of desertification and working to develop the desert. Who we serve? Our extended initiative of land restoration across 3 decades since 1991 targeted the entire neighborhood community, including farmers, school children, women, youth, and local villagers. The reserve is located outskirts of a rural village called Rumana. It means in English the land of pomegranates, whose inhabitants work in agriculture and sheep herding. The village has a modest infrastructure, about 2 or 3 schools, in addition to a small medical center and some small stores, bakery, and a small domestic food restaurant. We celebrate the Arbor Day annually under the sponsorship of the Minister of Agriculture or the Minister of Environment. We invite many local institutions from the capital and from the surrounding local community, including schools, CSOs, police department, and municipality, to spread our idea and message of preserving the environment and restoring the land from degradation by preserving forest trees and increasing its cultivated area. What we restore and how. The Ministry of Agriculture in Jordan has allocated a plot of land in 1997 for our society, so as it can practice part of its activities and achieve its objectives over this national park. As mentioned above, it is located near a village called Rumana, over an area of 15 hectares. We plant hundreds of native species trees annually in this steep rocky land, with less than 300 millimeters of annual rainfall. At the beginning, let's say before 20 years from now, the society used traditional techniques in preparing the land for cultivation and irrigation in summer, for digging holes, planting, and irrigation plants. However, we tried to improve our techniques during the last 5 years. So we introduced new methods and techniques to facilitate our work to increase success percentage. The native trees we focused on are pine, carob, and oak trees. These native species of forest trees are the most tolerant to drought and low rainfall conditions and the most adaptable to the environmental conditions of the region. In terms of our goals and plans for the next year, 2026, we have prepared the land to celebrate our annual Arbor Day. As usual this year, it would be held in January or February. We will focus currently on rehabilitation of unused holes or holes with died plants. It is estimated about 200 or 300 holes. I have just a story about a bird called the Eurasian jay. When we started to build our new irrigation network, this bird began to attack some of the irrigation lines with its powerful beak. We were initially furious because it was causing us financial losses and delaying the system's operation. However, in reality, it was simply looking for clean drinking water. That's all. We thought long and hard about finding a solution that would satisfy both parties, and we came up with a compromise we would bring waters from a nearby poultry farm and distribute them around the site, so it could drink while we carried on with our work without any problems. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm glad you took an extra minute because that's just a wonderful story and just captures exactly who we're doing this restoration for. It's about all the beings in the complex ecosystem that we live in. Thank you, Ayman. Okay, so everybody is going to get an extra bonus 2 minutes because it's impossible to present in 5 minutes. So, but still keep it to 5 minutes. You get 2 bonus minutes if really needed, and know that we'll have deeper conversations going forward outside of this. Thank you very much, Ayman. If people have questions, please feel free to share them in the chat if you have questions for Ayman. I think we'll move forward with the next presentation now. Martin, would you like to go next?
Sure, thank you. So I'm Martin. I'm a Swiss guy, but our project is residing in Sweden, and we call that place Mundekula. That's our Mundekula logo, by the way. A beautiful sunshine and some forest within the sunshine, not covering the sunshine. I'd like to share a little bit about who we are. So first of all, if you go to the website, then you find a conference center, retreat center in Sweden. And what we are doing there, we host, first of all, breathing and regenerating forest ecosystem, which we let grow and develop to regenerative principles. We only acquired that place about 3 years ago. We also developed some food foresting according to the syntropic farming methodology, which tries to mimic how nature would develop forests and plants and all together. But then we also give space for self-learning and self-experiences, as we see that as an important delivery device for well-being, be it corporate well-being or individual well-being. And finally, we are in the development of a foundation, the Mundekula Global Center for Dialogue and Impact, where we'd like to develop the platform for different use cases and different groups to join together in co-creation. Here you see, and you will get the slides afterwards, some of the internet outlets. I don't go to the details right now for the sake of time. On the left side of that slide, you see how it looks around our plot in neighboring territories where typically clean felling is practiced. On the right side, it's a view into our forest, and the interesting part is that there are lots of degrees Celsius dividing those two plots. So having a healthy forest has very positive nature impacts, not only in sequestering CO2 and enhancing biodiversity, but also reducing heat, which becomes more and more of an issue in southern Sweden, where temperature to pre-industrial age already went up more than 4 degrees. Our focus at Mundekula is threefold. On the first element, we focused on organizational transformation, helping businesses to become more conscious in the way how they interact with nature. It's on climate and biodiversity restoration, and finally, human well-being, as I mentioned. How does that come along? Here again, you see degraded grounds, and we try to recover that. Then you see degraded business doings here on that slide. These are our neighboring hospitality services. You don't see one living tree, one living plant. It's all concrete. And these businesses draw down ecosystem services, but they don't compensate for it. So we are in the business of trying to prove that compensation of ecosystem services within your balance sheet and P&L should be possible. And that's how we do it. We focus on restoration of water systems, forests, and agricultural land. That's the one use case we established in Mundekula. Then implementing acknowledged systems, syntropic farming, food production, into our restaurant, but also into third-party delivery channels. And then mending broken links between the civic society and our place, which has been broken traditionally, I would say, for the past many years. And we start to make our place an integral part of the fabric of the region. And finally, we offer places where humans can regenerate in the true sense, meaning they leave our place in a more regenerated way then they would have arrived. So we do it in those three elements of nature, organizational, and human development. And you see here just a few use cases. Even within the first 2 years, we got recognized for our efforts by Restore, which is a recognized startup in Switzerland who did an award together with a UN land program just last year, and they recognized us among their finalists, 10 finalists. We got recognized in different ways, also in the news for the efforts we take to transform. On the personal human well-being, we attract more and more not only practices that were usually there in yoga and other kind of practices, but we bring real lighthouses within the geography to our place to bring their communities, like Kai Pollak, who's a renowned Oscar-winning awarded director who comes with his groups, and many more activities we anchor to create awareness for well-being and what can be done. And in the social, societal transformation, we've also done a lot of work to get onto the radar screen of civic organizations, of NGOs and businesses, got awarded also this year by the region as an outstanding enterprise who fosters transformation in the region, which made us quite proud. A few details: we insulate our infrastructure not with kind of chemical stuff. We insulate it with hemp, with wool, with cork, with natural fibers, which makes a true difference in the well-being. Why do we do it? We do it because we believe we can make the proof that the business can not only exist the way it traditionally does, but by having ecosystem services on the balance sheet, in the equity, in the asset side, and treated as an essential resource of doing business. And we got recognized by keynote assignments we can do. We build our efforts on the principles of the UN SDGs, of the planetary boundaries, and the IDGs. Although we are still early stage, that's our effort. One fun fact you asked for, Faye: we do have wildlife cameras, and they give us a lot of fun, first of all, but also imagination for wildlife safaris. We say people come to Mundekula all for their own reason first time, but they leave united in the belief that they will want to come back, and they do come back. And that's true for the animals. We don't like the wild boar. They dig all our territory every night, but it gives us anyway fun to do that. Our vision is to go from this vision to clarity, but most important, in this collaboration with ERC, we believe that we can learn a lot. We bring a lot of our experiences, but we can learn a lot from the other projects, how to phase in time, patience, and to go for a vision that serves the common good. And that's it.
That's great. Thank you. That was an incredible amount of information to put in 7 minutes. Well done.
You will get the slides if you wish.
Yeah, it would be great to share everybody's slides, and I'm aware that Ayman, with the technical issue, weren't able to see your slide, but you're welcome to share after, and if you want to share with others here. It's really interesting to hear you mention the lighthouse approach, Martin, that you have at Mundekula, because that's something that we see across the ERCs, and what we see is so powerful about this movement. And you're at a very established phase with that, so it's great to see, Martin. But really, the ERCs inspire ecosystem restoration in their region because they act like lighthouses by welcoming people to come, by having educational activities. And it's really fascinating to learn. Well, I'd love to learn more about the corporate organizational development side of your work as well in future.
We believe if you together, you can't just focus on one. If you don't gain acceptance in different societal elements and institutions, the effort will be built on sand, in our view. So it's important to bridge that gap somehow.
Yeah, and not just to be an isolated bubble. Yeah. Okay, brilliant. So please share questions in the chat if anybody has them. We will move to the next presenter. Does somebody want to volunteer? Victor, yes, please feel free.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all. My name is Victor. I am from India. Our organization, the IGIMSA, it is established by 1989. It is our small office. We are registered and Tamil Nadu Society Registration Act, and we get Foreign Contribution Regulation Act also. We get a tax exemption for our income tax department. Our office located middle of Tamil Nadu, South India. We are working 4 districts. Our founder is Mr. Ignacy. He is Mr. Dr. Namalwar. He is father of organic farming. Our broader purpose is fostering rain-fed agriculture and promoting farmers' collectives. Because 50%, more than 50% of the land in rain-fed farming in Tamil Nadu. So we concentrate rain-fed farming and promoting farmers collectives, collective farmers producer groups and farmers producer company also. Our key issues are, we identify key issues: agrobiodiversity conservation, women empowerment, skill enhancement, regenerative farming, and past 2 years we concentrate preserve pollinators of pollination for and occasional training also. Our other main focused empowerment of women. We focused empowerment of women based on economical empowerment through agro-based products. Additionally, we give leadership training and financial literacy and entrepreneurship training also. When entrepreneurship training, we collaborate with nearby incubation center, government incubation center. They will support you technically. Our skill enhancement, we focused organic farming techniques to educate farmers, organic farming techniques, and small level food processing industries for millet based snacks, value addition, and traditional rice and moringa based these kind of things. And we promote farmers low external input technology. So we give training for bio input preparation for low dependency of external input. And also we're doing non-timber forest products like herbs and honey, these kind of things. On farmer empowerment, we majorly focused of organizing exposures to visit leading organic farmers and visit farmers producer companies to gather knowledge. And we establish for farmers cooperatives also. Another our main focused area, traditional seed conservation. Today also we conduct one food festival. Every year we conduct seed and food festival. The major objective of the seed festival to conserve traditional seeds, to share traditional knowledge to the local young farmers. Our agro biodiversity concentration majorly we establish seed banks, community seed banks, and documentation of traditional knowledge. Last year onwards we are doing uncultivated food crops. We identify uncultivated food and their health benefit and how to prepare and how to eat, what are the benefit of the uncultivated foods, these kind of things. We collaborate with nearby university. We establish a farmers producer company. The farmers producer company, there are 531 farmers are enrolled, 343 farmers are women and 188 farmers are men. Major products: millet and millet snacks, spices, herbal powder, moringa based products, and organic inputs. We have one tractor that is for hiring purpose for our farming community. Our major achievements: we conserve more than 20 varieties of millets and pulses 6 varieties, oil seeds and 20 varieties, more than 20 varieties of vegetable seeds and tubers, traditional paddy, more than 10 varieties. More than 100 farmers are involved in millet cultivation. We established farmers clubs in 2 districts with the support of local government in Nabad, and income generation schemes. We promote farm-based, agro-based income generations, vermicompost, bio input preparation, backyard poultry, goat rearing, herbal powder processing, and beekeeping also. This is our award. We get award for we create one seed car, traditional seed car, that is exhibited on first World Society Forum Mumbai. We get a best award. The same award will get to state level in Trichy for state level water conference. and best district convener and district coordinator for a network called LISA, Low External Input on Sustainable Agriculture Network. Dr. Somshek Reddy, Indian Institute of Management, and Dr. Shanakia from Indian Institute of Science. Both are recognized. Also, proudly we say we are the best farmer in integrated pest management technology in India. Our farmers we published 3 books, one for integrated management. This book forward a message given by our former president APJ Abdul Kalam. This is focused by integrated pest management and farm technologies. Another one, farmers experience, we published. Another one, farmers technology for organic farming. One success story, one farmer, name is Mr. Sebastian. Due to low rainfall, he regularly
Victor,
attend training. Sorry, just
excuse
1
me.
minute. 1 minute.
Yes.
He shifted from farming to bio input preparation. Through bio input preparation, he sold nearby farmers get more than 60,000 rupees. Additionally, 60,000 rupees per year. We are collaborated with Low External Input Sustainable Agriculture and Building Ecological Regenerative Agriculture Society. This is the international society in India also. We are Indian member. And ASIF, Alliance for Food Sovereignty in South Asia, and SAGE, SAM, this is Navama Foundation, Tamil Nadu Agro Tourism Federation, and TABI, Trichy Agro Business Incubation Forum. They are supported for technically, and Botanic Garden Conservation International UK, Associated Country Women of the World UK. This is our plan. 2026, expand sustainable agriculture regenerative farming system, strengthening farmers' empowerment programs through training or exposure, these kind of things. Enhance agro biodiversity conservation, not only seed, we concentrate traditional tree varieties and traditional root vegetables and uncultivated food. We concentrate this year. And establish plant nursery unit. Non-timber forest product, we concentrate. Scale up climate resilient programs, mostly concentrate young farmers to involve agriculture and developing international interns and volunteers. Now we have reached more than 5,000 farmers, 80% of the women, and 1,200 school students. This is our contact information. Thank you for watching.
Thank you. That's really handy to have the contact information there as well. The work that you're doing is so wide-reaching, it's incredible. And I hear millet and get so excited. Yeah, millet is so powerful in as a transition also away from rice growing. It has so many benefits for health benefit, as well as much more resilient to climate change, lower water use, carbon footprint. It's really exciting.
Yes.
But it's obviously not just about one crop, and your work is really showing that with your regenerative agriculture and the food forest. I'm not sure if we saw the food forest in this, but you do have food forest
Yes.
too. And what's also unique about your work is also that the women are really lead what farming takes place in the communities. Is that right? That you consult with them and they are really at the forefront of deciding how to make that transition?
Yes, because most of the time they are spending home. So we focused on women-based programs.
And that's so important for the work to really be community-led. Okay, thank you. Again, everybody, please feel free to share questions in the chat. Let's move on to the next speaker. Yeah, go for it, Michael. Great. Good.
Cool. So shall I just go into it? Who we are?
Yeah, great.
So Alistair and I are current custodians of Furnace Brook CIC. So we're a 60-acre regenerative farm and community hub restoring a landscape nestled in the high weald of East Sussex, so kind of southeast of England in the UK. We've got a 6-acre lake. We've also got another lake as well. We've got old pasture that's kind of quite degraded. We've got some woodland edge, farmyard, and a cluster of kind of creative and agricultural spaces around, including a pole barn, actually a couple of pole barns, sort of lakeside gathering areas, a market garden, room for camping, and also a composting site as well. We're kind of trying to build a place where the ecology, the food, the community and creativity all kind of coexist within this landscape that you're seeing here. Who we serve, so we work with quite a mixed community really, local families, home education groups, young people, outdoor educators. We've got nearby villages and towns. We're kind of sat in the middle of a few different growers and land stewards. We've got local chefs, makers, volunteers, and lots of nature curious visitors. So we kind of facilitate all that going on. And obviously we've got wildlife, we've got grassland birds, we've got amphibians, fungi, insects, and our roaming herd of goats as well. So we like to recognise all of those non-humans within the system. And it's kind of becoming a place where we've got people and nature kind of growing together. What we restore and how. So we're looking at restoring a degraded 60-acre farm. Sound coming from that. So that's us making some biochar there. So yeah, we've got 60 acres of mixed landscape. So a lot of the farm was kind of overgrazed pasture. So we're trying to bring that back into health. There's a historic lake here. We've got some damage to it in terms of some pollution that's come down and silt accumulation. So that's something we're looking to regenerate and work on. We've got hedgerows and wetland edges. And obviously the soil life is a big focus for us here as well. And our core method we're looking at is kind of agri-wilding, so looking at integrating our pasture-raised livestock without using lots of input, so just using the resource that we've got here naturally, and looking at natural processes and looking at kind of perennial polycultures, so lots of fruits and nuts and agroforestry. So obviously the mob grazing going in through alleys in between all of that, and looking to stimulate the soil biology and seed dispersal and diversifying the structure of all of that. And then market garden is kind of no dig market garden, so looking to sequester carbon, build soil profile and produce more nutrient dense food while we're doing that. And obviously we're making biochar on site, making lots of compost, so we're integrating a closed loop system, so we don't actually generate waste. It kind of comes through and becomes the fertility for the basis of what we're doing here. I mentioned the water, so we've got lake and water restoration, so we're planning and starting that now, mapping the flows and the sediment and the erosion. So we've got quite a plan coming together for the restoration on that side. Lots of community learning, cultural regeneration as well, so using our barn for lots of events, as I've mentioned, and so looking at the whole kind of landscape and all these shared spaces together. What we think kind of makes us unique is that combination of the regenerative farming, the community events, the ecological restoration, and having all of that going on together in one space. So it's kind of becoming this living demonstration site really of kind of agri-wilding, we like to call it. So it's not just rewilding and it's not intensive farming, it's a nice blend of the two. Looking at kind of goals for next year, we want to continue that lake restoration, and we've potentially got an eco oasis coming from the work of John Todd. So that's coming to the site here to look at cleaning the water through natural biological process. I want to scale up the market gardening, producing much more of the food here, and also engage local households and community groups and home education groups in doing that. So we had a meeting just yesterday with a local group called We Grow that will kind of facilitate some of that going on and getting started. And then we've got our full kind of community compost hub being set up on site as well, and potentially expanding our grazing to go across the whole site as well. So we're looking at becoming a kind of a regenerative learning and events kind of hands-on workshop space, and look at how we best demonstrate that. Going on to number 4, so our biggest impact. So in terms of so far, I've just been here this year. Obviously Alistair and Diane have been here a number of years, but key milestones within this last year has been kind of shifting from that land that was quite exhausted, and we've already seen it really kind of visibly recovering. So we've got much more diversity in the pasture, the water infiltrates really well and life's kind of coming back there. And obviously we've got the mob grazing, which you see in that picture on the left, so we're kind of moving that paddock around, and we've got our goats kind of moving, so they've got a very intentional impact on the land that's being moved and dispersed around. And we've got groups coming in weekly with different uses on the land. So we've got obviously Compost Club here doing the composting. We've got a pole barn with these guys called the Peak Adventure, so they're doing a lot of kind of nature-based connected learning with children, whether that's homeschool or children at kind of risk of having difficulties in mainstream schooling really. So there's different things going on. We've got camping and all of that as well. So yeah, it's been really nice to see everything kind of emerging and starting to happen. And in terms of kind of a short personal story from myself, this little slide here, there's me sat with my hat on there. One of the favourite moments is sat there at that moment with our home ed group. We all kind of came and camped for a few days in these bell tents you can see here around the edge. And so we were sat there cooking our lunch on the fire, and kind of the children were all playing down by the lake and exploring down there, and the goats were kind of moving through the field above us as well. And it was kind of a nice reminder that although we've got this ecological restoration going on, it's also a community restoration and a human integrated restoration that's going on as well. Our goats, there they are. They're often sat up on the hillside overlooking kind of the car park and also along the side of the lake as they move along. And at certain points, they've been a kind of welcoming committee for people arriving for our events. So they're kind of watching everything that's going on and very much become part of the team, which they kind of are. Which is nice. They're doing some of the really important work. In terms of collaboration and inspiration, we collaborate with different groups all the time. So this one you're seeing here, we had the London City Park Rangers come down for a day. I think there was about 30 of them. We did a kind of bit of a talk and tour around what we're doing, really. So we're keen to work with lots of different groups on kind of our community composting and the lake and wetland restoration, the agroecology research, youth-led nature kind of movements and education, obviously tree planting and pond digging and all of that. So we're kind of looking to learn from the wider ERC community, really, and how that's best working for others, and looking to how we can best manage this as a long-term project with all of that in mind.
Okay, just want to add something, because it was fun to see the photo of the pub at the beginning, and just for context for everyone else in this meeting, there was a photo at the beginning of everybody in a kind of, it looked like a barn type thing.
Yeah.
And that's the pub that you guys have on site. And as an English person myself, pubs are so fundamental to kind of culture in the UK. And so it's really an important community meeting place that you have on site.
Yeah,
Right.
so Diane, who's here, we actually she brews on site. So we're brewing the beer here as well. And so there's basically like a little tap room that's being constructed. So that's a converted barn that's like the key kind of community hub space, really. So we've got, obviously the bar and the pub setting in there, but it's also got at the other end a kind of cinema screen projection. So we have community screenings of kind of green screenings, we call them, having different films. Yeah. And there's a stage and a piano, so we've got music and arts, and all of that kind of happens within that container there. So it's quite a special place just at the bottom of the lake there.
Yeah, and it's so exciting to meet with everybody in this room today. I mean, this is only just a small handful of the whole movement, but just the diversity of projects, communities that we have here, and this pub is a perfect example of how each community is integrated in the community. How that looks is so different in each context, and that's why we find this model so powerful, because ecosystem restoration really needs to be led by the community, so it's meaningful for what's meaningful for you. Yeah, there's no one size fits all. Having said that, I'm seeing great connections here, possibly with Ayman, because the water oasis that you've mentioned with John Todd, and are you connected with?
Ayman was is just back into the meeting, so he missed this.
Yes,
okay. Ayman, I think it'd be great that perhaps you guys can connect. Oh yeah, no worries, it happens. Welcome back.
Not intentional.
I think there might be possibility, interest to connect with them in terms of this, the how did you phrase it? The oasis, the water oasis.
Yes, it's the Eco Oasis. So it's over in the Netherlands at the moment, and we're sort of organising getting that over here and implementing that, both to obviously work on cleaning the lake and the water that we've got here, but also through those natural processes, creating another learning opportunity for people to come and see how that's done and potentially replicate or learn from it, really.
Yeah. And the possible connection I'm seeing is that the weather makers based in the Netherlands who have this technique based on John Todd, they are working to regreen the Sinai, and so they're using it in a desertified region. And perhaps in terms of knowledge exchange, it could be interesting to connect and discuss. Perhaps it's relevant, perhaps not in your own ecosystem, Ayman, but it could be interesting conversation.
Yeah, can I just clarify, we are working with the weather makers on the agreement with the Eco Oasis coming over here, and then obviously with John Liu, who's visited here a few times. So that's using the know-how, which obviously the weather makers have been working on that eco-oasis, how that can be amplified as a learning tool here, and absolutely for desert landscapes, which we are not one of those, thankfully, but yeah, we want to share the intelligence from what we're collectively doing with addressing. It was a Category 1 pollution incident, killed the whole watercourse, and this is after 10 years of us restoring the aquatic watercourse here and the lake in particular. So this was quite a step change for us 18 months ago, but we're putting our arms around it as a major opportunity with support to then show how nature-based solutions can address serious pollution in watercourses.
Yes.
So this is there should be an article coming out in the Guardian on this specific piece early next year.
Yeah, great. Please do share with the community. And of course, it's a very different ecosystem where you guys are based to where you are, Ayman. But in terms of the connection with the weather makers and this technology in the desertification context. Anyway, we'd be very happy to help connect the dots if you guys want to have a knowledge exchange conversation on this.
Cool.
Okay. Again, please share questions in the chat if you have any. We will make sure to address them. I think it's now time for Julia. Carla, you must be Julia's sister.
Yes. So, hi everyone. My name is Carla Picao, and my sister is Julia Picao, who is presenting her screen. Our initiative is Defensores del Monumento Natural Zona de los Santos. We are located in Costa Rica, in the countryside of San Jose. This is a rural community and a coffee plantation community, saying something very broad. So who we deserve, primarily we are, as a difference of everyone, I guess, we are a community-based organization, and we have been established officially or legally officially in 2023. We are a very young organization, but we have a very strong community-based workforce, let's say, since 2012. And yes, we have built like a movement of environmental people who wants to protect this specific area, the Monumento Natural Zona de los Santos, who was declared as a wildlife protected area. The reason why we are looking to protect this area is this is our main water resources in the region, and we have this hazard, which is the coffee plantations and the expansion of the agricultural boundaries. So that we are looking to work with farmers, with civil society in the majority of the cases, municipalities and other institutions to put in practice, because there is a lot of theoretical knowledge, but to put in practice a lot of the agriculture generated techniques that we have in place. But the reason why is that the farmers are not like doing this jump to explore new ways to do the agriculture thing or the production of the coffee. So what else? What we restore and how? Well, as I mentioned, we are focused working in the natural monument of Zona de los Santos. This is an example. This picture is an example of how the farmers are working right now, and we are working right now with a network of 15 farmers who are trying to be like a model and to wants to become a model farmers in terms of using new techniques or generative techniques in the agricultural sector. So these are like some of the best practices, but in fact, like the general landscape is that doesn't look like that. That's something that we are going to approach. We have a lot of soil degradation here, and the idea is to start like a process of regeneration of not only the agriculture, but the ways that they use the soil, because of the soil is now so degraded. They are looking to expand the agriculture boundaries, and they are looking to deforestate and reduce the forest, and that's why is endangered the natural monument. So we are doing a lot of educational workshops and trainings, basically, in order to understand the soil as a resource, and also this environmental education to everybody, because here in the region there is a lack of that knowledge. We are using popular techniques to get this approach and to become multi-generational in saying this, because we are not only focused on children, we want to explore and want to involve other generations, because we know so far that the main problem are the adults, not the children. Our biggest impact so far is that we have engaged with a lot of institutions here in the region, because it's not common that a civil society organization do these things. We are completely volunteer organization, so we are looking a lot for no grants and things like that to survive. Basically, we are like here in Costa Rica, we are as officially declared as a civil society association, and so that means we need to produce our own incomes, and is kind of difficult because in the institutional framework we used to be just like publics, but not an organization that can be taken into account in the decision making. But we are trying to build this network, and it's like a strategic network right now, because as part of this coordination that we have made so far, it has been possible to action a lot of work plans that was like sleep and they have like budget, but they do not know how to making alive and connect with the people, which is our main focus. So these are the institutions that we have worked on, and I can share this experience. In the last year, we had working with a group of women here in the region, which they are part of one of the vulnerable neighborhoods. And they have become environmental promoters, and they have built a lot of skills in waste management, but also in environmental resilience and environmental protection. And these women has like a low level of education. So they have skilled this part in terms of develop their own careers, and they have the development this sense of environmentals, but also they have built like a sense of being, and this is our biggest, like in this moment, our biggest something that inspired us a lot, because they have now like doing their own process to make them like to formalize their group, and like this capacity building has been done in these girls, and as you might see, like these are adult women, so this is great for us. And we are like officially we are like a women organization lead, so we have that implicit in our minds that the work that we do should be like kind of feminism, in terms of we need to go with different approaches, take into consideration the women's into the decision makers of the farms, for example, because in kind of things. And that's it, I guess.
Thank you. And interesting to know that you're wanting to develop your network more. I also think that you're very humble, because to give some context to everyone else in this group, the ICAF, the Costa Rican Coffee Institute, which is an important institute for coffee growing in Costa Rica, has been doing this research on the need for the transition to regenerative coffee growing. And what I've understood from speaking with Julia is that they were very excited to meet Defensores Monumente, which I'm pronouncing wrong, because they are actually doing it on the ground, and not just doing it, connecting all different farmers to do that. And the context that we see for many different ERCs in this movement, and is a big problem in the Netherlands where I'm based, is that farmers want to make some farmers who do want to make the transition don't have the financial, are afraid to take the financial risk of making that transition. But you've made that transition very feasible by taking a small part of each farm. That's a pilot project, which you and the farmer co-fund together. So the farmer has stakes in that, but they can keep producing their income with the rest of their farm. And so that's a really interesting model that's also unique to some other ERCs in the movement as well. We will end the presentations from the communities now. Thank you so much for that, Carla. Before we move on, a special thank you to Ayman for starting us, because it's never easy to get going, and would love to see your presentation if you'd like to share that after the call, because I feel like there's so much more to learn about your work as well. So thank you. Okay, so you are part of the ERC leaders, you're part of the movement. What is the role of the foundation? So the foundation was started to support. We've evolved from how we started, but our main function is to support the movement to keep growing and to keep having impact around the world and to connect the dots. We support with communications and storytelling, resource and funding, and knowledge exchange. And I think it's just good for you to know that when you receive emails from us, when we say we write a grant application together, ERF, with the F, is the foundation, ERC is the communities, the ecosystem restoration communities, that's you. And together we make the movement. So who's at the team? We have Peter and Jan Hein, who are the directors. You've just met Peter. Christina and Kath, do you want to just wave and say hello? Christina is our fundraiser. Kath is our comms. Kath, do you want to wave and show your face?
Hello. Here's my face. Hello, everyone. Good to meet you. I'm based in Cape Town in South Africa. And I might just point out that none of my ERC colleagues have ever been to visit me, except Faye actually came here a couple of years ago, which was lovely, because sometimes I feel very far away and very isolated. But fortunately, we're more or less in the same time zone. So, well, as Europe anyway, not the rest of the world. So that does make communications much easier. And sometimes I feel like we're all in the same office, even though we're all dotted around the world. But really good just hearing the presentations I heard. Sorry, I just had a physio appointment, which is why I stepped in a little late, but I caught the tail end of the first one and then the second one and the others, and really just so impressed at the level of what you're all involved with, what you're doing, what you're achieving. And from a communications perspective, I can't wait. I can't wait to get going on telling all your stories and sharing them with the world. There are so many different angles. You're all under the banner of ecosystem restoration, but focusing on so many different angles and aspects of it. And it's what makes the organization so rich. And I just know that you're all going to make an incredible contribution to our movement. So good to have you here.
Couldn't be more true. Thanks, Kath. Okay, so that's our team, and we are supported by Wendy, myself, we're both volunteers, and Ash, who you will possibly meet if you work on a training program with us. She works on a consultancy basis, on a project basis, so when we can get funding with a grant application, or if you have the funds available to have a consultant, Ash can develop trainings on the ground with the ecosystem restoration communities. So we're a small team, but we're here to make the movement grow. We're small but mighty as a team. And please don't hesitate to get in touch anytime. So you will all have this presentation after, and you can use it as an address book, so you have the contacts of the team members there, their emails, and you can get in touch anytime. But please know that we are a small team, that we work part-time or on a voluntary basis, and we will be in touch as quickly and speedily as possible. Okay, we also have a network of experts from all around the world. If perhaps you recognise some of these people, I mean, their expertise is pretty awe-inspiring. We also have many different partners that we're involved with. But how will we support you? And again, I really recommend keeping this. Yes.
We also have an ultimate decision-making body called the Supervisory Board.
In terms of resources and funding, you can get in touch with Christina anytime. If you have an idea for a grant proposal that you want to make together or a collaborative project, we can do that together with you. The role that the foundation takes in such a collaboration is to support with monitoring and evaluation, knowledge exchange, developing communities of practice, and we support to strengthen the grant application process. If we're applying with multiple partners, for example, we help to make sure that it's a coherent, fundable project, because that can be hard when you have multiple partners, and that's our role, to help streamline that application. And Christina is incredibly dedicated. It's really nice to work with her on such an application. Next to that, we can support with fiscal sponsorship. If you need a fiscal sponsor to receive grants, for example, from a US funder, if you're not US registered yourself. We will raise funds for you from direct donors through our website. So on each of you will have your own web profile, and there is a direct button for donors to make a donation to you. And we continue to build relationships with donation platforms like ChangeX, who Carla and Julia are involved in, and that's perhaps something for you guys to keep an eye out for, to make an application through ChangeX again in future, if not already, for extra funding. Really important to our work is the communications. That's really how we amplify the stories and inspire more people to get involved with this movement, and to help your stories reach a global audience and expand where you're already reaching people. We do that through stories on social media. We can write blogs with you. So get in touch if you want to have a deep dive blog on something you're working on, a new technique, for example, or a really inspiring community story. And remember that what seems normal to you, because you're doing it every day, is probably pretty unique in the grand scheme of things. And so there is no boring story. So get in touch anytime just to tell us what you're up to, and I'm sure we can develop a really interesting blog around an aspect of your work. As you know, we make this web page for you, and so I will be in touch so that you can share your details with us and we can create that web page together. On our website, volunteers can find your work, and we can also connect events to you as well. We can link to your own event booking or information page for any courses that you're organising. So it's basically another way for, in addition to your own communications, for additional people to be funneled to your work. And finally, we are organising a communications webinar. You'll receive an invite to that in the new year, and that will be to share best practices for how you can get your work seen on social media. So yeah, that's really what Kath does, and our volunteer Wendy is also amazing at that, and so would love to share top tips with you guys through that webinar. So the best way to get involved with any of these communications opportunities is for you to contact hello@erc.earth. And finally, in terms of knowledge exchange and education, as we've seen today, everybody has such different aspects of their work, but there are potential overlaps. And so we want to facilitate knowledge exchange by allowing you to connect with each other in an easy place. So we have this platform called Circle, and you'll receive a link so that you can get onto that platform and see who else is in the movement. You can reach out to them. There are something called lunch lessons on there, so where people present their work and you can follow what other people are doing. We also have a library of curated knowledge. Sorry, I jumped that first one, but I'm on the first bullet point now. We have a library of curated knowledge, like a platform you can put in your questions and see the information that we've collated with tips on different aspects of restoration. There are trainings and other practical educational resources there too. And again, like I mentioned with Ashley, we can create trainings for you on a project basis. So how to access these? Well, you can get onto Circle. But also here on this page is a list of the key resources. So I will send you this presentation, and I really recommend just over time taking the time to familiarise with these resources and see what's useful for you. These are all offered completely for free. We've developed them over time together with our partners, with our volunteers, with our team, and they're there accessible for anyone in the movement, for you guys to make the most of. We won't read through it now, but I'll make sure to send it to you so you can follow up on those resources. I would really like to take a minute, just if people want to share, what are you hoping for from the ERC movement, from what we've discussed just now, that you can bring to your work and help you achieve your vision, and specifically based on that, what are concrete next actions that you want to take? And it might be something super small, like I'm going to get on Circle, or I'm going to send a photo of the most recent educational event that we held and send that over to Kath. But it might be something bigger. Maybe you have a project that you've been mulling on and you see potential connections today. So we'll come back to this at the end. So this can mull in the back of your mind, and we can spend the last 5 minutes just discussing this. Please keep this question in mind. I will just make sure to close up the rest of the important things for you to know about the foundation now. So I've shared the different opportunities and resources that we offer as a foundation, and we do expect some things as a mutual exchange, which is 2 things, and you're all familiar with this because we discussed it when I met with you all, but just a reminder here, we love to hear your stories. It's really important to know what you're up to, and we also want to know once a year with a short impact survey that we send to you, some key statistics, namely around how many trees and plants you're planting a year and how many people got involved. And an estimate is good, but keep a rough track of that through the year. It's helpful. Okay. In terms of stories, I think it's useful just to be really clear on what that means to share stories. In really basic terms, what we love to receive is good quality photos or videos. And what we want to see is your community at work doing the restoration, or seeing your outreach events, an event with the local school, or a corporate event you organised. And before and after photos are super impactful. So if you can keep track of before after photos, we love to receive those. It's really important that when you share a photo, you give a description of what's happening there so that we can do something with that photo. And all of this, and what's nice is to have impact stats, testimonial quotes, impact stories that make it even stronger. But at the very basic, a description of what's happening. Otherwise, we're totally confused on this side of the laptop. You can put those in an email to hello@erc.earth, or you can put them in any channel in Circle, and we'll make sure to pick it up and share it. And remember to always tag us in your social media posts. So through sharing these stories, we can help you to reach over 74,700 people who are our social media followers across our platforms, and help expand the stories out there and inspire more people. Okay, next steps we'll come to, but let's close first with a bit of a discussion. Does anybody have any initial thoughts following? I need to see your faces I'll turn off my share screen for a minute so I can see you. So yeah, does anybody have any first thoughts that come to mind about what your next actions will be? Any ideas, projects? Yeah, Martin, go ahead.
Yeah, first of all, thanks a lot for inviting us into this group. I think it's amazing, and I'm just scratching on the surface to try and understand what this community can really do and be. So I'm extremely bullish on getting started. I also realize, while we think we achieved a lot already in our project, that we are just at the beginning, and some of the stories told today give me a lot of encouragement, also a humble encouragement in the sense of I'm keen to learn. So, for example, what Michael talked about, I think resonated a lot with me, and I understand you are almost, you leaped much further than I think we are, although we invested already 3 years. So I'm keen to learn from others, but also share our journey. We are in the process to establish a foundation, so definitely resources fair. You talked about ERC is providing will definitely be a great fit. So I'm keen to contribute in different forms.
Great, love it. What a great energy to get started. Yeah, and I will make sure to send to you the presentation and direct links to all the resources that you guys can go ahead. And yeah, and I think it's good to know that really, I mean, I discuss this with all of you, but can't really say it enough. Really, these resources are here available for you, but it's really you that can make the most out of being part of this movement, following up with the resources, getting in touch with the team. Yeah, we want to collaborate with you, so please get in touch with us. Michael?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I've met Ash. Actually last week, I just graduated from the first Becoming a Regenerative Farmer training up at Hembant. And Ash told me that she'd whispered into Matt's ear, who runs Hembant, at the rewilding training down at Embercombe, that we could work on this farmer training, and that happened. And at the end of this training, she sidled up to me and said, maybe we could work on a training together where we're going to share kind of your work in soil science and effective composting. And I said, yeah, absolutely, we should do that. So that's something in the works, hopefully, which I'm excited about, getting busy on. But also familiar with Circle and everything, and I've already done one of the kind of lunchtime lesson things on there and stuff. So yeah, just excited to get deeper involved basically and see what can happen.
That's great. That'll be really exciting to be able to work on ash for a training around that. And I'm happy that you've already followed a lunch and learn. Was it useful? How was your experience of that?
Yeah, it was good. I basically was sharing how Compost Club works as an enterprise for anybody else or in the community that wants to get involved. And I think it was Walt. I can't remember where exactly he was, but he was really interested, and we did a consultation online with him and the rest of his team on Zoom. And then they actually bought some of the infrastructure and have kind of started implementing that. So that was really exciting to be able to offer that firstly, but also actually to know that, they're following up and they're actually doing it. So it's nice to kind of feel that, there's impact from doing these things. So it's definitely worth, if you've got something to offer, it's definitely worth doing that.
Wow, that's impact. I wasn't aware of that. That's a really great story. Okay. Well, we're really coming to the end now. Peter, you had your hand up.
Yeah, I wanted to react to what Martin just stated. I'm one of the older people in this movement, and I've been in sustainability for a very long time. And what I'm noticing is we've created an extremely diverse network, from coral reef restoration to reforestation, from all kinds of agricultural techniques in all kinds of biomes. And some of these calls that we organize, where people from all over the world come together, some people stay up to 3 o'clock in the morning to be part of a particular call. There are some fascinating new ideas be emerging or crossing borders that would have never crossed that border. And that, I think, is the power of everyone wanting to share what they have learned and what they are doing, and others seeing opportunity in that. And I'm fighting against the certification. Most ERCs are fighting against the certification. It is, especially in the Mediterranean region, sub-Sahel Africa, California, Arizona, Mexico, a major theme. So there too, there are exchanges about techniques, ideas on how to combat the certification that I would assume you have not thought of yet, but they have figured out something new, for example, in Mexico. So I hope you can participate and meet each other. Our intent has always been to sort of form a global living lab around ecosystem restoration. And now we're nearing 100 initiatives in the movement. You see that, not every call brings new ideas, but sometimes there is that coincidence or that moment where you realize that's something I haven't thought of, that you have realized, that you have thought through, and that could be very useful in my work. And that's what we are hoping for, that will happen. And we will continue to work on that.
Well, I think we'll leave it at that. I'm aware that everybody here has probably things to do on the land and lives to live, and unfortunately admin. So let's close this here. I will be in touch to complete your web pages, and thank you so much. I feel a bit emotional actually. My heart's full. So thank you for your work.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting us.
Thanks, guys.
It's good to remain.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Have a nice morning. Bye.
Bye, everybody.